We all have a special event that brings joy to our heart. Some may have Christmas, some may have Thanksgiving, the smell of the fresh cooked food, that aroma that flows through the house. For me, the special occasion will be my wedding day. Hi, I'm Tonya Morrison, and I want to give you just a brief look into my life, a special occasion, which is my wedding day that I had with my husband, Michael Morrison. Well, when I moved to Vegas, I was young, but also as a little girl, I always dreamed of being married, having a couple of kids, and living in that situation and that lifestyle that my mother never had or instilled in me. I had those dreams for myself. So when I first moved to Vegas at the age of 15, I had instilled in myself the work ethic of having two jobs. I had met my husband maybe 6 months after I got there. And he was so charming. He opened my door for me. He told me the first time he actually saw me that I was going to be his wife, and he knew that from the start. Me, I was skeptical, but hey, I was like, okay, he's older than me. He was also a military veteran, so he was older and he knew what he wanted out of life, which that was a big turn on to me. So we both worked across the street from each other. He was a cook, I was a busser at a buffet in Las Vegas in one of the casinos. So he would get off and come across the street and pick me up from work and bring me flowers. And I would think that would be so cute. I was like, okay, so you bringing me flowers every day. He would drive me home. He would kiss me on the cheek and say, well, I'll pick you up in the morning. I was like, okay. And still never to my mind I ever imagined that we would actually be married, even though his mother had told me that he had already told her that I was going to be his wife. So when the first time I met his mother and his aunt, his mother said, why did you laugh at him? He was serious. He told us that you was going to be his wife. I thought he was totally joking. I never thought that I was going to marry that man. So I cried because I felt like I hurted his feelings, which I kind of did, but I made up for it. Eventually, we had two daughters, Charlene and Alexandra, and we got married in Las Vegas at the little white chapel. It was one of the prettiest days in Las Vegas. It was very hot. It was June 6, 2000. My dad had drove down, my dad, my mom, and my little brother, they had drove down or up, wherever you want to call it. They had drove to the West Coast from the South. They drove down to help me get ready for my wedding, help me prepare for my wedding. And that was their first time coming to Las Vegas. So I really felt privileged because I really didn't know my dad at that particular time. I learned about my father the year I left home. So him and my husband was friends or were tight, and I thought that was a real commendable asset to him, because if you are all right or at least decent with my father, who is a pastor, you probably okay. I didn't want you to be real good or real like my father. Those characteristics are really not a good thing for me. But you somewhat had some kind of characteristic. You was a stand-up guy. That was a good turn for me. So when my mom and my dad came down, they introduced themselves. He got to know them a little bit. He already liked them from on the phone. He didn't really didn't have to get to know them. He was already infatuated with them by the conversations he had on the phone. So when they came down, it was like, hi, Tonya. I was like, hi, Mama, hi, Daddy. So we were all together focusing on our wedding, which I thought was very, very prideful for me, because my dad came down from to Vegas, which he said he would never do, to walk me down the aisle. And when I pictured me getting married, I never pictured me actually being walked down the aisle and being walked down the aisle by my father. So when I got walked down the aisle with my father, there was some kind of joy that hit me in my heart. So I got like so many emotions that ran through me by that special occasion. One, I got to marry my husband, who was so loving and caring and didn't try to change me. Two, my dad drove to somewhere he said he would never do, Sin City, to walk me down the aisle. Three, most of my friends and most of his family got to come to the wedding for his second wedding, and they didn't need to come to his first wedding. So I think it was a great time had by all, and we were so privileged and so honored that everybody was joyful and wanted to spend our momentous day with us. So I hope that you enjoy this speech on a special occasion that means so much and so dear to me. It was my wedding day. I thank you, and you have a great year. Thank you.